In this session, we'll talk about using state in the batch apex, what it means and why do we need it. So now, if you remember, when we are talking about batch apex, we said there are different three different methods in a batch apex we have. And now to use that, what we did, so any classes you want to make a batch apex, you have to implement an interface database.batchable interface. So now batchable interface have three methods. Let's see, one method we call as start method, one as a execute method, and one as a finish method. Let's think you have 1000 records to be processed and you are making 200 records per job. Okay, so now that means my start method executed once, my execute method going to execute 5 times, 1000 by 200, 1000 divided by 200 is 5. So 5 times my execute method will execute, and in the end, finish method will execute once. So start, execute, and finish method. So now what happened exactly? Every job when running in execute method, every job is running in a separate transaction. So let's my job one started with first 200 record. It is one single transaction. Okay, so when second 200 record coming, so that going to my second transactions, and both are separate transactions. So the second record does not know, or second job doesn't know what happened in the first job. Okay, so now if I want to maintain the state, what is happening in the first job, I want to maintain some information to be carried forward to the second job or to carry forward to the third job. How I can do it? So if anytime you want to maintain the state of a batch apex, we have to use the stateful. So each execution of a batch apex job is considered as a discrete transaction or separate transactions. If you want to maintain a state across these transactions, we have to use one interface called as Database.Stateful. Remember this interface name, Database.Stateful. So only the important thing is that we have two different type of variable, or you can say class member. Instance class member or static member. So this database.stateful will help you to maintain the state using my instance member only. Only instance member variables retain their values between the transactions, between first job, second job, third job. The instance member variable can maintain their transactions. Static member variable always will be reset in each transactions. Let's see this in one example. I'm going to take one example, like I will get all the account record, we'll process that, and I will see how many contact of that account getting updated. So my scenario is going to be, let me write the scenario for you to understand it. So my scenario is that, let me write it here. So get all accounts and update contact address with account address. Okay, and in this case, I want to see how many contacts got updated. Okay, so what I want to do in the start method, I will query the account. Okay, and for that account, what are the contacts we have, I will process in my execute method. Then in the finish method, we will see how many contacts got updated. Okay, to see that, what I want to do, okay, I am going to write a batch apex, new batch apex I'm going to write to make this example to be more understandable. Okay, let's directly jump to write a batch apex and to see what exactly going to happen right now. Okay, let me go and create a new apex class. Let's say I'm going to give a class name as account contact batch. Okay, so see, it is a simple apex class. Now you know how to make it batch apex. So what if anytime you want to make any apex class as a batch apex class, what you want to do? You have to implement the interface database.batchable interface. The moment you implement, what is going to happen? There is three methods. One we call a start method that we have to implement. Okay, as I explained in the starting of batch Apex. Second, what I have to do, I have to implement my execute method. So this is my public void execute, database batchable context and the scope. I want to implement this, and in the end, I have to implement my finish method. I can go here simply putting the finish method. Okay, right now I am not going to use database.allow.stateful. So database.stateful. So without using what is happening and with using what will happen, that I will show you. Okay, right now I didn't implement anything called database.stateful. Simply I kept it like this. So now think I'm going to create one member, or you can say one variable. So simply I can say I'm going to create a public integer. So contact record processed, for example, contact record processed, initially 0. Okay. So now in the start method, I want to get the record. So now what I want to do, I want to return database dot get query locator, the method. Inside this, I'm going to write my SQL statement. What is my SQL statement? I'm going to write select ID, and I want to query my account address details. So for that, let me go to get the account related field, and we'll see how that's going to help us. So if I go to my object manager, all the address related fields, I'm going to query it. I go to account object. Okay, if you go to field and relationship, you can see all the field. So what I want to get my address details, like your billing city, billing state. If you don't want to see here, what more you can do, simply as I said, you can go to account, shop, Salesforce, just Google it out. You will get complete field information of this account object here. Everything you can see, all the method, what is applicable here, or what are the fields you have, everything you can see. These are the methods we can use in account, and these are all fields we have. I want to query all billing address, billing city, all billing details I want to query. So what I want to do, I want to query my, let's billing city. I want to query my billing country, for example. Okay, like what query, what field you want, you can query. I want to billing city. Let's I want to get a billing street. I want to query billing postal code, for example. What are the field you want, you can put it. And I want to query, for example, billing state. Like this, you feel like query. And with that, I want to put a subquery. Select ID, then billing details from account, I want to take to contacts, mailing details. So if I go to contacts of Salesforce, you can see all the object again, simply. Okay, always refer this one so that you can see every field. Any compound field, anything you have, you can see it. So now if I go to mailing fields, for example, I just scroll down. Let's I want to query my mailing street. I want to query my mailing state. Or mailing city. And let's see mailing postal code. Okay, sorry. Mailing postal code, from where I want to get. This is I'm going to get from contacts. Okay. And from account, I use the subquery concept here. So what I'm doing, I'm querying my account and its contact, the billing fields, and mailing fields. So this is the information what I queried right now from here. Okay. So once I query this, I want to process my logic. So now what I want to do here in the execute method, I want to process. Okay. So now for each account, I want to change it. So simply I say if account having some record, nothing but account list dot size greater than 0, then I'm going to iterate on my account record. Simply I can say account SCC to account list. I loop using my for loop. Then for this account, how many contacts I have, I want to loop on them. So simply I can say for each contact associated with this account, nothing but SCC dot contacts. You can see I have queried contacts. So SCC, nothing but one account having what are the contacts. So parent to child query. So that I have used here. So now what I want now in the contact, I want to set mailing street as my accounts billing street. And similar way, I want to set contacts mailing city equal to accounts mailing city, sorry, billing city. And contacts, let's see, mailing postal code equal to accounts billing postal code. And I want to set contacts billings mailing state equal to accounts, let's see, billing state. This is I set it. And what is the contact I am going to set that I want to update? Simply I can say list of contact con list equal to new list of contact here, so that I can keep everything in a list collection and I can update it. So I am going to add each contact on my list. So I can say simply con. Okay. So now all done. Then now I have to do a update. So now outside of this for loop, I want to set one update. What I want to update? I want to update my con list. So now each time how many contacts getting updated, that I can increment when I'm adding in the list. For example, simply I can say con list record processed equal to what is my current value in contact record processed plus 1. Okay, this is my simple logic I'm writing here. Okay, now if you see, every time when this is happening, if I'll just put a debug line to show you system.debug. Simply I can say, okay, number of contact record processed equal to this. I'll see what is the value coming here. Okay, let me save it. Record got saved. Now let's think I want to execute this. I'm going to instantiate the object. Let's see SCC con batch equal to new account contact batch. Instantiate my new batch apex. Now I'm using my database dot execute batch, and my batch class instance is SCC con batch, and think I'm putting 3 record at a time. And I'm selecting this 2 line. I'm executing these highlighted lines. And we'll see that in the log, what is the value coming here. Let's put execute highlighted. Okay. So my code is getting executed. So it will have the multiple jobs. You can see here 1140. What are the jobs going on? Let's see my last one. See my debug record says 5 contact got processed. So now last one saying 5 contact got processed. Before that, what is processed? Let's see what is the count coming there. If you see here, 7 contact processed. So right now here 7, it is again 5. That means it is reset in my second transaction, correct? So now if you see this, the log, now you can see 0 contact. Okay. So now here if you see, not there. Okay. So now 0, 7, 5 like this records getting processed. So now if you see the previous one said 7 contact record got processed, here says 5 contact get record processed. So I assume 7 plus 5, 12. Last one should show me 12. This value what we have, it should be persist. It should show me the exact total number of contact what is getting processed. Okay. So now what is going to happen here? So now I didn't have the database.stateful. Okay. So each time on each transactions, my members or my variables, what I have, it is getting reset to 0. Okay, here in this case. So always it will reset. But the moment I am going to use my database.stateful, this interface, database.stateful, what is going to happen? We'll see. The same job will take and we'll see what happens. I am going to use one more interface, database.stateful. Okay, the moment you use database.stateful, what is going to happen? This is going to help me stateful. Okay, this is going to help me to persist the value or to maintain the state of my instance variable. Only I use database.stateful. I saved my class. It's getting saved. Now, same batch, I'm going to execute once again. Execute highlighted. Let's see what is going to happen. If I go to my log, let me go to this. Okay, let me see the status of my batch first. It's executed or not. Then we will see the execution, what is happening in that execution. Do I have all the job processed or not? Let me go to my setup here. Let's check in the monitor, my job monitor. By going to setup, in the setup, simply search job. Go to Apex job. Here Apex job. Now you can see this is got processed 5 records. Okay. Now let's go to my log here. Batch Apex. See, it's came 13 and previous one what are there? 20. Let me clear all this, then we'll see. Okay, this is 1142 and let me execute once again. Multiple execution happens, so account control batch, let me execute highlighted. Okay, I'm going to read from here. 1144. From here, my batch job got started 1144. Here I have contact record processed 8. Load it. Not there. Okay. See 20. Okay. So now you see I'm maintaining the state. Okay. With that, or if you want to see in more detail, I can do one more way to put one more logic in this place to make you understand what is my exact value coming up. Let me go to the class and putting one more line here. Okay, here I'm printing my contact record processed. So before that, what are the previous value I can see here? Initially, I'm going to print here previous contact record processed, for example. Okay, we can see these two lines, what is happening. I'm going to debug, open anonymous window, execute highlighted. This one I'm starting from the start first job. Initially to a 0. So in this place, I processed 4 record. So previously 4, now another 4 became 8. So I'm maintaining the state. So next job, see, initially 8, the previous to this 8, now more 5, 13. The difference will happen the moment if I remove this database.stateful, you can see always my previous contact record will be 0. The state I am not able to maintain if you set my in interface database.stateful. The interface database.stateful, what we implemented, if you remove this, then the state cannot be maintained by my batch job. I just removed and save it. I am going to execute the same logic again, and we'll see the previous value will be always reset. Okay, in every transaction, my state cannot be maintained. That is going to be the difference here. See here, contact totally processed 5, previously it's 0, means reset to 0. If I go to net batch, if I go to my debug statement, you can see 0 and 4. So simply to understand this, if you want to maintain the state of a batch apex in your instance where members, simply use one interface, database.stateful. Okay, so using that, then if you want to send over the email, you can do, or if you want to do any post-processing logic, that also you can do. Okay, so this is the use case of using database.stateful in a batch apex. Thank you.